January 29, 1945, at 2:47 p.m., events unfold in the Belgian village of Holtzheim that would enter history. First Sergeant Leonard Funk steps around the corner of a farmhouse and suddenly stops. 90 German soldiers stand directly in front of him, staring straight at him. About half of them already have weapons in their hands. The others are hurriedly picking up rifles and submachine guns from a pile on the ground. Nearby, 4 American soldiers are kneeling in the snow. Their hands are locked behind their heads, and their weapons have already been taken away. Just 20 minutes earlier, these Germans had been prisoners. They were captured by Funk's company during the assault on the village. Now the situation has completely slipped out of control. ***, Leonard Alfred Funk Jr. was born on August 27, 1916, in Braddock Township, Pennsylvania. It was a working-class region filled with factories, smokestacks, and steel mills. The Monongahela River flowed past the town, carrying the smell of industry and hard labor. Funk grew up in a simple family where responsibility came early. As a teenager, he was already taking care of his younger brother. By the time he graduated from high school in 1934, he understood adult life well. The Great Depression was tearing the country apart. Jobs were scarce, and stability seemed out of reach. For families like his, college was nearly impossible. From a young age, Funk learned to rely only on himself. ***, by early 1941. War was already raging across Europe and Asia. The United States had not yet entered the conflict directly, but it was only a matter of time. In June, Congress expanded the military draft. Leonard Funk's number was called. He reported to the induction center in Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania. He was 24 years old. His height was about 5 feet 5 inches. He weighed roughly 140 pounds. The army doctor examining him might have assumed clerical duty, but reality would turn out very differently. ***. Despite his ordinary appearance, Leonard Funk made a decision that surprised even the army. He volunteered for the airborne forces. In 1941, American paratroopers were still an experimental branch. The idea of dropping behind enemy lines was considered insane and extremely dangerous. Most soldiers wanted nothing to do with such missions. Jumping from a perfectly good airplane seemed like certain death, but volunteers thought differently. They understood that risk was part of their future service. Funk was not looking for an easy path. He deliberately chose the hardest one. ***, airborne training was designed not to teach, but to eliminate the weak. The goal was to break those who could not endure. Every day began with exhausting runs and forced marches. These were followed by jumping, climbing, falling, and endurance drills. The physical strain was constant and merciless. Half of the recruits failed and dropped out. Those who remained moved on to tower training. The height frightened even experienced soldiers. The final stage involved real jumps from aircraft. Only then could a man call himself a paratrooper. ***, the first jump from an aircraft stays with every paratrooper forever. Funk stepped toward the open door of the C-47, feeling his entire body resist. The aircraft was flying at roughly 1,300 feet. The wind slammed into his face, stealing his breath. Every instinct screamed to hold on to the aircraft. Below him was only empty space. The parachute on his back felt fragile and uncertain. It was nothing but fabric, cords, and faith. Funk stepped forward and vanished into the air. That moment earned him his jump wings. ***, after completing training, Funk was assigned to Company C. It belonged to the 1st Battalion of the 508th Parachute Infantry Regiment. His post was Camp Blanding in Florida. There he met the men who would become his combat brothers. Many of them were several years younger than him. By airborne standards, Funk was considered relatively old. He was 27 years old. Most of the others were barely 20. But age gave him calmness and steadiness. Men sensed reliability in him. In late 1943, the unit was sent to England. There, the regiment became part of the 82nd Airborne Division. This division already had combat experience. Its soldiers had fought in Sicily and Italy. They knew what real battle meant. They had seen death and lost friends. Funk was considered the new man among them, but he quickly earned their respect. His calm under pressure stood out. By D-Day, he was already leading a squad. On June 6, 1944, an operation begins that will change the course of the war. During the night, C-47 transport aircraft lift off from England. Inside one of them stands Leonard Funk, with other paratroopers. Nearly 60 pounds of equipment are strapped to his body. Weapons, ammunition, grenades, and medical gear pull him downward. The aircraft shakes from German anti-aircraft explosions. Tracer rounds cut through the darkness outside. Metal fragments strike the fuselage. The flight altitude is far too low for a safe jump, but there is no longer any choice. The operation called for thousands of paratroopers to land behind enemy lines. Their mission was to seize roads, bridges, and critical crossroads. This was meant to block German reinforcements from reaching the beaches. Ideally, everything was supposed to happen quickly and precisely, but the plan collapses within minutes. German fire scatters the aircraft across a vast area. The green light flashes amid chaos. Funk steps forward. The blast of air hits him like a blow. Then the parachute opens, and the world suddenly grows quiet. Below, Funk stretches occupied France. Enemy forces surround the area in every direction. The airborne drop turns into disorder. Some soldiers land in flooded fields. Weighed down by equipment, they drown. Others come down directly on German positions. Many are killed before freeing themselves from their harnesses. Funk lands hard and feels a sharp pain. His ankle twists violently on impact. He realizes he has suffered a serious injury. The pain was intense and immediate. Every step caused suffering. It might have been a fracture or a severe sprain, but Funk could still stand. He could still move, and that meant he could still fight. He quickly hides his parachute to avoid detection. Then he begins moving forward in the darkness. He is far from his intended drop zone. All around him lies enemy territory. Over the next several hours, Funk encounters other lost paratroopers. They belong to different units. Some are wounded and disoriented. All of them are searching for direction and leadership. Funk takes the initiative. Gradually, a group of 18 men forms around him. They trust him, despite the lack of formal orders. For 10 days, they move and hide by night. During the day, they conceal themselves from patrols. At times, they are forced to fight. Despite his injury, Funk walks at the front. He takes on the role of scout. This position carries the greatest risk. Every step could lead into an ambush, but he considers it his responsibility. He protects the others by exposing himself to danger. The group moves slowly through occupied territory. They avoid roads and populated areas. At times, they are forced to fire their weapons to survive. Yet not a single man is lost. On June 17th, the group finally reaches Allied lines. All 18 men are alive. Not one has been killed or captured. They spent 10 days behind enemy lines. Their journey covered dozens of miles through hostile territory. Funk led them safely back. This episode became the first major proof of his leadership. Command takes notice of his actions. He is awarded the Silver Star. This is only the beginning of his combat path. On September 17, 1944, the Allies launch an operation known as Market Garden. It becomes the largest airborne operation of World War II. Tens of thousands of aircraft and gliders fill the sky. In total, around 35,000 paratroopers are committed to the mission. American, British, and Polish units act simultaneously. The goal is to seize a chain of bridges in the Netherlands. These bridges are meant to open a direct route into Germany. If successful, the war in the West could end by Christmas. Command relies heavily on speed and surprise, but the risk is enormous. The plan required holding 7 key bridges. They were spread across a wide distance. Ground forces were supposed to advance along a single narrow road. Any delay could lead to disaster. Any resistance threatened to derail the operation. Paratroopers were expected to hold until relief arrived. The most difficult mission fell to the British division at Arnhem. There, German armored units appeared unexpectedly. The airborne troops were surrounded. Fierce, urban fighting followed. The fighting around Arnhem lasted for 9 days. Soldiers battled for every building and street. Ammunition ran low. The number of wounded steadily increased. Out of 10,000 paratroopers, only about 2,000 survived. The operation would later be called a bridge too far. It became a lesson in excessive optimism by command. Leonard Funk, however, did not see the larger picture. He knew only his own mission, and he continued to carry it out. After landing, Funk's unit secured its assigned area. Their mission was to support the advance. They protected landing zones. They also had to eliminate pockets of resistance. Overall, the mission was proceeding as planned. However, Funk soon noticed a serious threat. German anti-aircraft guns were operating nearby. They were firing at incoming gliders. Those gliders carried reinforcements. If the fire was not stopped, casualties would be severe. 320mm anti-aircraft guns were positioned on high ground. They were manned by roughly 20 German soldiers. The positions were reinforced with sandbags. Their fields of fire overlapped. According to doctrine, such a position required numerical superiority to attack. But Funk had only 3 men with him. He understood there was no time to wait. Every shot at the gliders meant more casualties. Funk makes an immediate decision. He orders the attack. Funk personally leads the assault from the front. His men act decisively and quickly. They eliminate the security detail. Then they rush the gun positions. The fighting takes place at extremely close range. The gun crews are taken out one by one. The Germans fail to organize a defense. Within minutes, the position is neutralized. All 3 guns are destroyed. The gliders are able to land safely. In this fight, 3 Americans defeat 20 enemy soldiers. The odds were entirely against them. Nevertheless, the mission is accomplished. The Allied advance continues. Funk's actions do not go unnoticed. Command prepares the award recommendation. He receives the Distinguished Service Cross. It is the 2nd highest award for valor in the United States. For most soldiers, even one such decoration is unreachable. For Funk, it was just another stage of the war. On December 16, 1944, the German army launches its last major offensive on the Western Front. 3 armies take part, involving hundreds of thousands of soldiers and thousands of vehicles. The main attack strikes through the Ardennes forest. This sector of the front was considered secondary. American units there were under strength and exhausted. The Germans relied on surprise and poor weather. Their objective was the port of Antwerp. Capturing the port could split the Allied forces. Hitler hoped to force the West into negotiations. Thus begins the Battle of the Bulge. The first days of the offensive shock the American army. Entire units become encircled. Some formations are forced to retreat in disarray. Thousands of soldiers are captured. A deep bulge appears in the front line. Weather conditions worsen the situation. Temperatures drop far below freezing. Snow and ice restrict movement. Weapons frequently malfunction. The cold becomes as dangerous an enemy as the Germans. ***, just one day after the offensive begins, a tragedy occurs near Momedy. A convoy from the 285th Field Artillery Observation Battalion is moving along the road. These soldiers were not meant for direct combat. They encounter the spearhead of Kampfgruppe Piper. After a brief firefight, the Americans surrender. A total of 113 men are taken prisoner. They are marched into an open field near a farm. They are disarmed and completely defenseless. Formally, they are prisoners of war. But events soon take a different turn. ***, German soldiers suddenly open fire on the prisoners. Machine guns, rifles, and pistols are used. Men are shot at close range. Those who attempt to flee are killed immediately. Wounded soldiers are executed. The snow is quickly stained with blood. A total of 84 Americans are killed. Some survive by pretending to be dead. They lie motionless for hours. Only after nightfall do they manage to escape. ***, 43 survivors make their way back to American lines. Their story spreads quickly through the army. News of the massacre shocks the troops. Until that moment, the war had unspoken rules. Prisoners were usually spared. After Momedy, everything changes. Trust between enemies disappears. Americans begin to fear surrendering. This fear is especially strong regarding SS units. A moral boundary has been permanently crossed. ***, when Leonard Funk learns of what happened, he takes it personally. He has already seen enough death in the war, but this was not combat. It was cold-blooded murder. Men were executed after surrendering. This violated every rule of warfare. Something inside Funk changes. He makes a firm decision. He will never surrender to the Germans. This decision will shape his future actions. ***. By late January 1945, the German offensive in the Ardennes has been fully stopped. Allied forces begin pushing forward aggressively. American units drive the enemy back step by step. Company C of the 508th Parachute Infantry Regiment receives a new order. They are tasked with capturing the Belgian village of Holzheim. On paper, the mission appears routine. In reality, the company is badly depleted from earlier fighting. Many soldiers have been killed or wounded. The company's executive officer has been killed. Responsibility now falls on Leonard Funk. ***, Funk temporarily assumes the role of acting executive officer. He assesses the true condition of the company. There are not enough men for a proper assault. Refusing the mission is not an option. Funk makes an unconventional decision. He heads to the company's rear area. There he finds clerks, cooks, and supply personnel. These men rarely experienced combat. Funk addresses them directly, without embellishment. He tells them they are infantry now. ***, Funk orders everyone to grab weapons and gear. He forms an improvised platoon. It consists of roughly 30 men. Most of them have only basic training. They have little real combat experience. Some are visibly nervous. Funk does not try to calm them with speeches. He explains the mission clearly and firmly. They will go into combat alongside the rest of the company. There is no alternative. ***, the march to Holzheim covers roughly 15 miles. Snow reaches knee height. A blizzard reduces visibility. Temperatures drop far below freezing. The soldiers move slowly and with difficulty. German artillery intermittently shells the area. Explosions erupt nearby. Funk leads the column from the front. He sets the pace of the movement. The men follow him. ***, by the time they reach the village, the men are completely exhausted. Funk quickly organizes the assault. The village consists of roughly 15 houses. Each one is occupied by German soldiers. The enemy uses machine guns and grenades. The fighting takes place at close range. Funk constantly moves between groups. He adjusts his men's actions. The improvised platoon holds together. House by house, the village is cleared. During the fighting, the company captures around 30 prisoners. There are no American casualties. Another unit operates on the opposite side of the village. It captures an additional 50 German soldiers. The total number of prisoners reaches 80. They are gathered in the yard of a farmhouse. Funk's men are pushed to their limits. Fighting in the village is not yet fully over. Funk can spare only for soldiers as guards. He plans to send reinforcements later. Funk returns to the rest of the village. He continues, clearing remaining pockets of resistance. At the same time, a German patrol approaches the farmhouse. The soldiers wear white camouflage cloaks. In the snow, they resemble American troops. The guards realize the danger too late. The Germans disarm the 4 soldiers. They force them to their knees. Then, the Germans free the prisoners. The situation spirals out of control. The freed soldiers quickly grab weapons. The patrol joins them. The Germans now number around 90 men. Many of them are armed. They begin organizing themselves. Their objective is clear: to strike Company C from the rear. American troops are spread throughout the village. Such an attack would be catastrophic. A German officer begins issuing orders. At that exact moment, Funk appears. Leonard Funk approaches the farmhouse, expecting no danger. He intends to check on the prisoners and the guards. As he steps around the corner, the scene before him feels unreal. 4 of his soldiers are kneeling in the snow. Their hands are locked behind their heads. Dozens of armed Germans surround them. The prisoners no longer look like prisoners. They are holding rifles and submachine guns. The Germans are preparing to attack. Funk instantly understands the gravity of the situation. The German officer immediately notices. Funk, the first sergeant's stripes mark him as a leader. The officer strides closer. He presses an MP40 into Funk's stomach. Then he shouts an order in German. Funk does not understand a single word. He does not speak German. Neither do his men. The officer shouts again, even louder. The German's face twists with rage. Funk looks around. 90 German soldiers stand before him. Many of them are already armed. His own men are helpless, for are kneeling in the snow. Another American stands beside Funk. He is unarmed as well. There is no realistic chance of survival. Every calculation points to defeat. The rational option is surrender. But Funk remembers Mamadi. He remembers the executed prisoners. He remembers bodies lying in the snow. In that moment, his decision becomes final. He will never surrender to the Germans, under any circumstances. Then something completely unexpected happens. Leonard Funk begins to laugh. The laughter is loud and genuine. He cannot stop himself. No one knows exactly why he laughed. It may have been a deliberate tactic. It may have been a reaction to extreme stress. The human mind sometimes breaks in strange ways. Funk later said he could not control it. The German officer shouts even louder. He demands compliance. Funk laughs harder. He bends forward from the laughter. Some German soldiers begin to exchange looks. The officer completely loses control of the situation. He does not understand what is happening. Prisoners are not supposed to behave this way. They usually beg for mercy. They do not laugh in front of a gun. The pause lasts only a few seconds, but those seconds are enough. Funk slowly reaches for his weapon. The Thompson hangs from a sling over his shoulder. The officer assumes this is surrender. Funk's hand grips the weapon. He slowly removes it from his shoulder. The German relaxes slightly. At that moment, Funk acts. He snaps the Thompson into position. The muzzle points forward instantly. Funk pulls the trigger. A burst slams into the German officer's chest. Shots ring out in rapid succession. The officer collapses, dead. **** Funk keeps firing without pause. He knows there is no turning back. Now it is either him or them. Bullets tear through the nearest German soldiers. Men scream and fall. Spent casings scatter across the ground. The snow is quickly stained with blood. The first magazine empties within seconds. Funk instantly reloads. He shouts for his men to grab enemy weapons. ****, the 4 Americans rush for the rifles. Moments ago, they were prisoners. Now they are fighters again. The Germans fall into complete chaos. Their commander is dead. No one is giving orders. Some attempt to return fire. 1 bullet kills an American beside Funk, but resistance collapses. Crossfire does the rest. ****, it all ends in less than a minute. 21 German soldiers lie dead. 24 are wounded. The remaining men drop their weapons. More than 40 raise their hands. The prisoners become prisoners once again. Funk stands among the bodies. Smoke rises from his weapon. He looks at his men and says it was the craziest thing he had ever seen. ****. After the fight in Holzheim, Company C fully secures the village. The surviving German soldiers are sent to the rear under heavy guard. This time, security measures are much stricter. Funk reports the incident to his superiors. To him, it feels like just another firefight. He does not consider it anything extraordinary. However, rumors spread quickly. The story is discussed first within the regiment. Soon, the entire division knows about it. Leonard Funk's name becomes widely known. ****, when the award recommendation reaches higher command, there is no hesitation. Funk's actions are confirmed by eyewitness accounts. The official citation emphasizes his determination. The overwhelming numerical superiority of the enemy is highlighted. It also notes the moment when a weapon was pressed into his stomach. Command recognizes that he acted at extreme personal risk. For the fight at Holzheim, Funk is nominated for the Medal of Honor. It is the highest military decoration in the United States. Only a select few ever receive it. Funk has no idea what awaits him. ****, on September 5, 1945. Leonard Funk stands in the White House. The war in Europe has already ended. The ceremony is formal and solemn. President Harry Truman personally presents the award. The Medal of Honor is placed around the sergeant's neck. Truman addresses Funk with a brief statement. He says he would rather have that medal than be President of the United States. Those words are remembered by everyone present. Funk stands calm and reserved. He does not seek attention. ****, by the end of the war, Funk's list of decorations is extraordinary. He receives the Medal of Honor for Holzheim. Earlier, he had been awarded the Distinguished Service Cross. He also holds the Silver Star and the Bronze Star. For his wounds, he received 3 Purple Hearts. In addition to American awards, Allied nations honor him. France, Belgium, and the Netherlands present him with decorations. He becomes the most decorated paratrooper of the war. Despite this, he remains a humble man. He never considers himself special. ****, after the war, Leonard Funk returns to civilian life. He does not write memoirs or seek fame. He does not use his reputation for personal gain. Funk takes a job with the Veterans Administration. There, he helps other former soldiers. His work involves paperwork and claims. He does this for many years. Funk advances through the organization. Eventually, he becomes a regional division chief. His life remains quiet and steady. ***, Funk lives in Pennsylvania with his wife Gertrude. They raise 2 daughters together. They lead an ordinary family life. His medals are kept out of public view. Funk rarely speaks about the war. When asked about Holtzheim, his answers are brief. He says he simply did what had to be done. On November 20th, 1992, Leonard Funk dies of cancer. He is 76 years old. He is buried at Arlington National Cemetery. **** Over time, buildings and streets are named in Funk's honor. Military facilities carry his name. A highway in his home state is dedicated to him. Later, a post office in McKeesport is named after him. Despite this, the general public knows little about him. People more often remember other war heroes. Leonard Funk's name rarely appears in textbooks, yet his story remains unique. It speaks of strength of character, and of a choice made in a single, decisive minute. **** Leonard Funk's story shows that war does not favor giants. It does not reward only the strongest or the fearless. What matters most is the ability to think under pressure. At Holtzheim, Funk could have surrendered. Every circumstance pushed him toward that option, but he chose differently. He exploited the enemy's confusion, and in 1 minute, he changed the outcome. His courage was not the absence of fear. It was action when fear surrounded everyone. ***.